What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our coding session. I know I've been away for a while, been a little bit under the weather, but I'm back. I try to be a little bit more here. I know I haven't been here a whole lot, but I will be working on trying to be a little bit more on a schedule. But let's get started. What I want to work on today is really just some reports. I know that last time I had been mentioning that I'm working on my application here, which is a tasker application for, but not really a tasker application. It's more of a time management tool that integrates a lot of the Microsoft products. One of the fundamental being SharePoint. SharePoint as the back end. And so that's what I'm working on. But I usually like to start by looking at our Facebook groups and see if there's any good questions that we can look at. That have to deal more with a little bit of advanced SharePoint. I already looked at that one. We actually created a small Webpart for that. I don't see anything new, so we can go ahead and close that. Yeah, so let's get to work on the reports. The reports I want to work on is I want to move some of these around. For example, the most productive hour, most productive day. I want it to be here in the overview. And then the tasking sessions, I want to keep somewhat as is, maybe make a few changes there. But on the insights, I kind of want to integrate that into my overview and get rid of some of them. For example, focus adherence, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I like it more as a card than an actual, whatever this is called. Let's inspect it. Do I not have? I guess I don't have it. Let's look at React Developer Tools. I thought I had it installed, but I guess I don't. Oh, it is on there. So what's the problem? There it is. That was weird. Let's take a look at this component. So this component is the radio bar. So that's something that I don't think we need for the focus adherence. We can keep it as a card. So let's take a look at how we can get that updated. Let me restart Visual Studio Code. All right, so first thing that we need to do is we need to look at the insights reports. So if we go to reports folder, where is it? Reports. So here's the reports folder, and we look at our insights tab. Our insights tab is receiving session metrics and metrics as a prop. So let's go see. So this is being generated from the reports page. All right, so here we have our insights tab, which is rendered from our reports. Our reports is passing to it the metrics prop. So if we look at our insights tab, looks like it's using inside metrics, and inside metrics is coming from the use report data hook. So let's go look at the use report data hooks. Here's our use report data hook. Okay, and what we wanted to do was move to the overview. I want to move the streak, the current streak, most productive hour, most productive day. there's a current streak. Let's take a look at what that entails. So current streak. So there's a current streak being returned from the user report data. So let's copy this and let's start Claude to get this moved over. Oh man, did I just put it in the wrong place? No, I don't think so, because it's installed globally, right? Isn't that what I run globally? This is what I should have run. Maybe I'm supposed to do... No, I guess I did correct. I did it correctly. All right, so let's give it the report data. Oops. The insights tab, the reports. And then the other one the report is using is the overview. And the overview is what? The overview tab. Oh, I keep on making a mistake of not pressing enter. But before I do that, let's go look at we're doing current streak, longest streak. Oh, we have a problem here. So check date, I think we need to change this. There is a new property that I implemented. And the new property is where's the new property? Am I even using it? Yep, app user. App user. That's weird. I thought I had set this up. I guess I didn't. So my beginning of the workday, I would say, starts around 6 in the morning. And it ends at around 6 p.m. Just say that. Monday through Friday. We can save that. And now let's take a look at what our hook shows. Also need to fix the fact that the save button is staying enabled, even though it's supposed to not be doing that. Okay, so here we go. App user. Workdays, perfect. End minutes, start minutes. Okay. Let's see what this stores. Yeah, perfect. All right, so now we need to make some updates. And this is the app user hook. And you use app user hook now. Runs project. It includes the start of day and end of day based on minutes from, I want to say it's minutes from midnight. Only because if we look at start minutes, 360 minutes. 360 minutes from midnight is what time? 6 in the morning. Yeah, so it's start a day based on the minutes from midnight. And as well as end minutes, which is also minutes from midnight. Data props are let's start with start minutes and end minutes. We need to update the hook. Now implement it. And that's the start and end time. Start and end time in the reports, as well as days. For now, we are working on the overview tab and the insights tab. I want to consolidate some parts of insights into our overview tab. And let's see, what else do we need to do? Let's go back to our reports. All right, so we need to get rid of this start of day. On use report. Well, let's start with what we need to move. Need to move street cards, the overview tab. Most productive hour, most productive day. And what else? I think focus duration would be another good one to have over there. So let's have that moved. Focus duration into the overview tab. Let me review the code a little bit more. Let streak equals 0 for I, sorted dates length What is sorted dates? Array from completion dates, sort in reverse. Let's go look at that hook, see what it returned. So we go to components and we look at our insights tab. In our insights tab, we have our hook called, where is my insights? Insights tab. So we have a metrics. All right, so we metrics. I'm trying to figure out it's looking for completed dates through the task date completed. And then it's putting all those into a value of the streaks. I think that's a bad strategy. Only because you could have a scenario where a user just works on a really, like they're not as meticulous about putting a task every single piece of work that they do. They can have something like write a novel. And that write a novel could be run through an array of 4 or 5 days. And all they're really logging is sessions. Or to constitute streaks as being whether you completed something or not on that day. Or to render a report, right? Like to have a report that says the amount of, like how many days you've been actively using this tool. Oh shoot, 1 second. Oh, sorry about that. I lost my earpiece. All right, now, so I was saying, it doesn't make any sense to have a report that generates a streak based on completion date. All right, so the streaks need to be fixed. So streaks need to be fixed. Sessions. Assuming that streak indicates the usage of the tool, it does not And you know what? You can leverage different types of AI to talk this through. Another thing that I like to use is, I guess I don't have, do I not have Gemini enabled? How do I turn on Gemini? As usually you see like a little icon up here on the right. This is my new, like a rubber duck, right? You know, like back in the day we used to talk to the rubber duck. Now we talk to AI. How would one gauge engagement to generate a report on this number of days? If we not only are tracking tasks but sessions for each task. I know I misspelled them, but it's okay. It'll understand. Task completed output string. It counts as day as active. Release one task is moved to the finished state. Okay, so I guess it should be by task completed. Breaking one big job into 10 tiny ones just to see the number go up. On days where the user works 8 hours on a single complex task but doesn't finish it, the stream would technically break. User focuses on checkboxes and crossing items off to date list. So choosing to define an active day as any day where count tasks or sessions duration is greater than X minutes. Oh, okay. I like this hybrid approach. When generating a report, you'll want to structure your query to flatten these two activities into a single active flag per calendar day. I think a productive day would be anything that has, like, for instance, if your sessions, if you have sessions that are set up, because we have to remember that in my tool, we have the Pomodoro technique, which is 25-minute sessions, 5-minute short breaks, 15-minute long breaks, 52-17. But then we also have the flow time technique, which the flow time techniques is basically just for those people like technically myself, right? You don't want to be constantly paused. Like especially when you're coding, you don't want something to stop you or stop your thinking process. You want to be able to continue working on your project without interruptions. And so that's what the flow time technique is, right? So that's what I leverage. So I would have to change the reporting metric to encapsulate all these different methodologies from a reporting perspective. So ideally we can set a flat metric of, let's just say you had at least one Pomodoro, which I'm assuming a Pomodoro, again, I'm not 100% on this, I'm gonna have to double check, but a Pomodoro would be you complete at least one full cycle, which a full cycle would imply you did 25-minute focus session, so you would have a total of 100 minutes of focus. So if you completed at least 100 minutes of focus, or completed at least 1 or 2 tasks, for example, then we're looking at that hybrid approach. So you can see here, if you completed 4 tasks but don't have any, which obviously this would never happen, because how can you complete, well, technically I could, I guess, if you just go crazy and just moved a lot of things over to complete it, just created tasks and moved over to complete it just so you can keep track of them, I guess that could happen. What I mean by that is, like, for instance, if I go to the tasks and I create a task, task complete, no sessions, and let's just say this is programming, right? I could technically do this and just move it into completed. There's no sessions associated with this task whatsoever, but it does count as completed, right? Because you moved it over to complete, like you did that. You may have not logged any specific time to it, but you want to keep track of that task. So I guess that could technically happen. So let's go ahead and move to that. String needs to be fixed to use a hybrid approach. We need to move to flatten. Well, technically that data is already flattened. Here for now we are only focusing on moving things to the overview tab. And making fixes. Need to move the street card over the overview, most productive hour, most productive day, and move focus duration. We need streaks need to be fixed to use a hybrid approach. We need to move to track tasks completed by day, as well as session minutes by day. Example, can I just copy this? Yes, I can. To make report user friendly, consider adding a shield or gray state feature. Nothing kills a user engagement faster than losing a 100-day streak. Yeah, of course. Make sure use also the what was it, the PT workdays. PT workdays only. Keep in mind the format for days, well as seconds from midnight, is not written if there is a preferred. Let's see. So now we have the streaks that are going to be going over, and then let's look at the daily activity, because the daily activity I'm not a big fan of, because it counts the amount of sessions. It should just count the breaks, the number of breaks people had, which is by minutes, the number of minutes in a session, and get rid of hours. All right, so let's note that. So for daily activity fixes, the report should, wait, I want to see something real quick. Yeah, it should count the have the number of tasks it should have the number of breaks, the hours, but we need to remove the sessions and change that to Pomodoros, or gosh, I don't know that we can do Pomodoros. Change that to the number of cycles completed for the day. Yeah. We can get that information from the preferred under preferences set up by the user in the task settings, which the user hook writes. can consolidate sessions. Sessions are returned newest or most recent to folder. We can go and find many times each session comes up to focus session. All right, let's see what this does. And I'm set up to flow time on mine. But like I said, individuals may choose to do different types of timer methods. And then I've implemented an alarm sound. And that's what I was saying. Like, if you're like me and you don't want to be stopped, you want to just like, you get focused on a certain thing, you don't want to have an alarm telling you, hey, you need to take a break or anything like that, you use flow time. Just look for a count of what? Breaks and focus session box. Not specific to any metric. Non-work day strict behavior. Tuesday active, Wednesday is a non-working day, Thursday is active, does not. Correct. Non-working days do not affect strict behavior. Most productive day card overlap. Overview tab currently has most productive day. Example, Monday 4/7. The Insights version shows the best day of the week. Go back and look at that. Most productive day. So most productive day here says Tuesday 4/14, and it does say most productive. Oh, it's saying that which one do I want to keep? Let's keep the one currently in overview. So don't move the. I'm just gonna say keep most productive day that is currently. Daily activity chart. Should non-working days should not appear in the chart. I got a timer going off. Let's see what happens with our reports. And now obviously we're going to do some code review to make sure that it's done right, because AI has been done so many times. By the way, while we wait, I do have a YouTube channel. I'm trying to get more content in there. I usually just code live, and you kind of see what I do for a living, and if it's something that interests you, there are some tutorials on my channel. I'm not a big tutorial proponent. I'd rather, if you have a question, you can always chat with me. I can help you. But yeah, if you can follow me there, that would be really appreciated. On the average focus duration right now, it's still showing average focus duration card still shows Let's go to components. Why does it not show my... This is so annoying. There we go, finally. I am set to float time. And why is it saying end is null and start is null? I could have sworn I updated that. Start and end is showing null. It's weird. That's kind of bizarre. Six a.m. I'm a workaholic, so I usually end pretty late. 6 p.m. Save it. Okay, this is not working. What is the problem? Let's go to network. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. By title, items, post, payload. There's an issue with the API. Let's go look at the API. User API. Wait, this is a get init. App user. The user API. So edit. Here we go. We need to add so we need to add, we have mode, I'm assuming. Oh, we don't. We have timer method. So we have title, person ID would never change, work seconds, break seconds, long break seconds, cycles before long break, timer method, alarm enabled. What is PT mode? PT mode? What is PT mode? Mode. I see the column, but I don't know what it's for. Anyway, let's not make these optional. Well, they're not necessarily optional, so why is it saying optional this? I don't even see this as a column. PT current sessions. All right, so alarm enabled. I don't know what PT mode is, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Work start minutes. Let's put a comma here. End minutes. Work days. And full cycles. All right, so that should fix that. So now, here we go to our form again. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. If we save that, bam, perfect. What did this do? All right, so now let's go find out what reporting shows. Okay. We also need to remove all time from here. I don't like all time because that looks ridiculous. It just doesn't look right. 30 days is pushing it too. And really, I mean, it should only show 30 days if you actually have 30 days of analytics. So we got to change that as well. So most productive hour was at 12 o'clock. Most productive day. For this week. Okay. I think we got that fixed now. What else do we need from insights? Oh, good. It already took a lot. Cycle adherence, I'm not gonna really focus on that right now. Focus adherence either. Break durations. Not break duration. Breaks aren't important. I mean, technically they are, right? I mean, if you want to be a stickler about what was the old, I remember when I was a kid, my dad would always say there was a guy, it was two people chopping trees, and one of the guys would always take a break. And somehow at the end of the day, the guy that would take a break always had more cut trees than the guy that would work his butt off and just cut trees all day. And the way that the concept of that story goes is that, you know, one day the guy that hustles all day and doesn't take any breaks at all kind of confronts the guy. He's like, "What are you doing, man? Like, are you cheating or something? What's going on here? You're always taking breaks. And somehow you always have more chopped trees at the end of the day." And the guy just tells him, "Look, I may be taking a break, but every time I'm taking a break, I'm sharpening my axe." So essentially, the guy would be eventually working with a dull axe, which would make it harder for him to chop down the trees. And so the moral of the story is, you gotta take breaks sometimes. You gotta learn to just not overdo it, which I know I should kind of listen to myself when I say these things. But yeah, this is my lunch hour, so my hour's almost up, and I'm gonna try to probably just stream around this time. So if you ever have any questions or this is something that interests you, please let me know. I'm always happy to help in any way that I can. These things are a lot of fun for me. And like I said, I still need to do some code reviews, so I'll probably do that real quick before we leave. So we changed the app user API to update that. The insights tab. So I moved the focus duration card into a report card. Okay. This is what I'm mostly concerned about, which is the code review. Workday set is the work days. So it's splitting the days. That's fine. You can do that. It only does it once because you're using use memo, and it only does the change whenever PT work days changes. So that's a good methodology there. This is the correct way to address it, because if it's flow time, we're just going to display the word flow time. If it's not, then we're going to take the work seconds and divide it by 60 to give us the amount of work minutes to give us our focus duration. That's a good code. This one, let me see, completed tasks. I think we already had this. And I believe there is a utility. Filter completed task. I think this, we don't need to use this because this filters based on a certain amount of days, and this one's actually taking the full array of tasks, giving a more holistic picture. So we could leave it as that. Okay. So overall, I mean, the code looks good. I don't really have too many changes there. Let's keep on going. Most productive day. The last thing that I want to look at is the data. Okay, I think we're good. We can leave it as such. That's gonna wrap it up for me today. Thanks for coding with me. I'll catch you next time. Peace.